Do you ever find yourself wide awake, staring at the ceiling, long before the sun even thinks about rising? Perhaps it's 3 a.m. or maybe 3:30. And suddenly, your mind is racing. Your body feels restless, and you know there's no chance of drifting back to sleep. You lie there, watching the clock tick by, feeling a wave of frustration wash over you. It's a painful reality for so many older adults. This unwelcome interruption to what should be peaceful, restorative sleep. You might tell yourself, "Oh, it's just part of getting older," or "My body just doesn't need as much sleep anymore." But what if I told you there's more to it than simple aging? What if these early morning awakenings are actually your body trying to tell you something important about your health and well-being? It's a signal, a whisper from your internal clock that often goes misunderstood. In this video, we're going to uncover the real reasons why so many of us wake up before 4 a.m. And more importantly, we'll explore simple, powerful habits you can adopt to reclaim your nights, improve your sleep quality, and boost your overall health. These aren't complicated fixes or expensive solutions. They're practical, everyday adjustments that can make a world of difference. Watch to the end for something that will truly surprise you about these early morning hours. So, let's dive right into why your body might be nudging you awake before 4 a.m. and what we can do about it. The first crucial element, and one often underestimated, is the profound impact of light exposure on our internal body clock. Think of your body as having a master clock called your circadian rhythm, which pretty much orchestrates every physiological process, including your sleep-wake cycle. This clock is incredibly sensitive to light. As we age, a few things happen. Our eyes might not let in as much light due to natural changes in the lens, and our brain's ability to interpret those light signals can also shift slightly. This means our master clock can get a little out of sync, leading to those frustrating early awakenings. The good news is, we can actively work to resynchronize it. The most powerful way to do this is by getting natural light, especially in the morning. I'm talking about stepping outside within 30 to 60 minutes of waking up. Even on cloudy days, you don't need direct sun glaring in your eyes. The ambient light is powerful enough. Just 15 to 30 minutes of this morning light tells your brain, loud and clear, "Hey, it's daytime time to be awake and alert, and start preparing for sleep later tonight." This simple act helps suppress melatonin, the sleep hormone, during the day, so it can surge more effectively at night. I remember one gentleman I spoke with, Arthur, who used to wake up religiously at 3:45 a.m., feeling wired and anxious. We talked about this morning light principle, and he started making it a ritual to have his first cup of tea on his porch every morning, no matter the weather. Within a few weeks, he noticed his wake-up time slowly shifted forward, and when he did wake, he felt much calmer and more rested. It wasn't about forcing himself back to sleep. It was about naturally adjusting his clock. Now, while morning light is key, what we do with light in the evening is just as critical. Our modern lives are bathed in artificial light, especially blue light from screens, our phones, tablets, computers, and TVs. This blue light, particularly after sunset, can send confusing signals to your brain, telling it it's still daytime, suppressing melatonin production, and making it harder for you to fall asleep and stay asleep throughout the night. Think about it. Our ancestors were guided by the sun. When the sun went down, life slowed down, light diminished, and their bodies naturally prepared for sleep. We've largely overridden that natural rhythm. So, an actionable step here is to create a light curfew in the evening, at least 2 to 3 hours before you plan to go to bed. Start dimming the lights in your home. Switch off overhead bright lights and use softer, warmer lamps. Consider using blue light filtering glasses if you must use screens, or activate night mode settings on your devices. Or better yet, swap screen time for more relaxing activities. Instead of watching an intense crime drama right before bed, try reading a physical book under a soft lamp, listening to calming music, or having a quiet conversation with your partner. This mindful approach to light, both in the morning and evening, is fundamental to gently nudging your circadian rhythm back into alignment, which is often the silent culprit behind those early morning awakenings. It's not just about what time you go to bed. It's about preparing your body for that transition, setting the stage for deep, uninterrupted sleep. And speaking of preparation, what we do in the hours leading up to bedtime, particularly regarding our evening routine, has an enormous impact on the quality of our sleep, influencing whether we stay asleep or find ourselves wide awake in the wee hours. Now that we've discussed the profound impact of light, let's talk about another often overlooked factor that profoundly influences those early morning awakenings, your evening routine, and, specifically, the hidden impact of your diet. Many of us fall into habits that, while seemingly innocent or even relaxing, can actually be highly disruptive to our sleep architecture. Imagine this. You settle down for the evening, perhaps enjoying a large, comforting meal, then wind down with a few glasses of wine and some late-night television. While this might feel like unwinding, it's actually a recipe for fragmented sleep and those unwelcome early awakenings. Let's start with your diet. What and when you eat and drink can directly affect your blood sugar levels, your digestive process, and your overall body chemistry throughout the night. For example, consuming caffeine too late in the day is a common culprit. Even if you don't feel wired, caffeine has a surprisingly long half-life, meaning it stays in your system for hours. A cup of coffee with lunch could still be impacting your sleep at 2 a.m. The general rule of thumb is to cut off caffeine intake by early afternoon, ideally before 2 p.m. This includes coffee, black tea, energy drinks, and even some sodas. Alcohol is another significant disruptor. While a glass of wine might feel like it helps you relax and fall asleep faster, it actually fragments your sleep later in the night. It metabolizes quickly, leading to a rebound effect where your sleep becomes lighter and more easily disturbed, often around the 3 or 4 a.m. mark when its sedative effects wear off. Your body then goes into overdrive to process the alcohol, leading to increased heart rate and body temperature, making it very difficult to stay asleep. Similarly, large, heavy, or spicy meals close to bedtime can lead to indigestion, heartburn, and discomfort that makes deep sleep nearly impossible. Your body should be focusing on rest and repair, not on digesting a challenging meal. Aim to finish your last meal at least 2 to 3 hours before you plan to go to bed, and keep it light and easy to digest. Think lean protein, vegetables, and whole grains, rather than rich, fatty, or sugary foods. For instance, instead of a heavy pasta dish or a steak dinner, try a small piece of baked fish with steamed vegetables. If you absolutely need a snack, opt for something small and sleep-supportive like a handful of almonds, a small banana, or a bowl of oatmeal. Foods that contain natural melatonin or magnesium, which aids relaxation. Beyond food and drink, your activities in the evening are just as important. Many of us carry the stresses of the day right into our bedrooms, engaging in stimulating activities like intense problem solving, paying bills, heated discussions, or watching exciting, suspenseful shows right before bed keeps your brain in an aroused state. Your mind needs a clear signal that it's time to switch from doing to being. This is where a consistent wind-down routine becomes your secret weapon for at least an hour, or ideally 2, before bed. Create a buffer zone between your busy day and your sleep time. This means putting away the electronics, avoiding news or anything that might stir up anxiety, and engaging in calming activities. This could be reading a relaxing book, listening to soft music, taking a warm bath or shower, or practicing gentle stretching or meditation. One couple I know, Brenda and Jim, found that their nightly habit of watching late-night news and then discussing current events always led to them waking up in the early hours feeling anxious. We talked about shifting their routine instead. They started listening to a soothing podcast or light classical music after dinner, followed by a chapter from a novel. Within weeks, their sleep vastly improved, and those 3 a.m. wake-ups became much less frequent. This dedicated wind-down time isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for preparing your mind and body for the deep, restorative sleep that keeps you well throughout the night. Next, we'll dive into how your body's movement, or lack thereof, throughout the day also significantly impacts your ability to stay asleep all night long. Now that we've delved into the intricacies of light exposure, and the crucial role of your evening routine and diet, let's turn our attention to how your daily movement, or indeed, lack of it, profoundly influences those early morning awakenings. It might seem counterintuitive, but a sedentary lifestyle can actually lead to fragmented and restless sleep, making you more prone to waking up in the wee hours. Our bodies are designed for movement, regular physical activity, especially moderate intensity. Exercise improves sleep quality by helping you fall asleep faster and experience deeper, more restorative sleep cycles. It aids in reducing stress and anxiety, which are common culprits behind early awakenings. And it also helps regulate your internal body temperature, a key factor in initiating and maintaining sleep. However, there's a nuance here. The timing of your physical activity matters greatly. While daytime exercise is beneficial, engaging in vigorous workouts too close to bedtime can be counterproductive. Intense physical activity raises your body temperature and stimulates your nervous system, making it harder for your body to cool down and relax into sleep. Imagine trying to settle down for bed when your heart is still pounding and your muscles are buzzing. It's just not conducive to deep sleep. So, the actionable step here is to be strategic about your movement. Aim to incorporate regular, moderate activity throughout your day, but try to avoid vigorous exercise within 3 to 4 hours of your bedtime. This doesn't mean you need to hit the gym for an intense session if that's not your style. It can be as simple as a brisk walk around your neighborhood in the morning or early afternoon. Many people find that a solid 30-minute walk not only boosts their mood and energy during the day, but also significantly improves their sleep at night. Gentle activities like gardening, swimming, cycling, or even dancing to your favorite music are fantastic options. For instance, my neighbor, Evelyn, used to sit for most of the day, then complain about waking up around 2 a.m. feeling stiff and restless. We chatted about incorporating more activity snacks into her day. She started taking short 10-minute walks every couple of hours, doing some light stretching while watching TV, and even took up gentle water aerobics. The change in her sleep was remarkable. She found herself sleeping more deeply and waking up feeling far more refreshed. Often not until 6 a.m. or later. It's not about exhausting yourself. It's about providing your body with the natural movement it craves to maintain its healthy rhythms and promote truly restorative sleep. Consistent, moderate movement signals to your body that it has expended energy during the day, making it ready for a deep recuperative rest at night. And finally, we arrive at a habit that might be the most challenging for some, yet it holds immense power over our sleep quality, cultivating a calm mind. In today's busy world, our brains are constantly stimulated. For many older adults, the quiet hours of the early morning can become a breeding ground for worries, anxieties, and a relentless to-do list that suddenly seems to pop into your head. You wake up, and immediately, your mind starts racing about yesterday's conversation, tomorrow's appointments, or even just the frustration of being awake. This mental overactivity is a major culprit behind those frustrating early awakenings. Your body might be physically ready for more sleep, but your mind is actively preventing it. The secret here isn't to force your mind to be blank, which is often impossible, but to develop strategies to manage and soothe your thoughts. One incredibly effective technique is mindfulness or simple meditation. This doesn't require sitting in a lotus position for hours. It can be as simple as 5 to 10 minutes of focused breathing before bed. Or if you find yourself awake in the early hours, simply focus on your breath. Notice the inhale, notice the exhale. When your mind wanders, and it will gently bring your attention back to your breath without judgment. This practice trains your brain to be present and to quiet the mental chatter. Another practical tip is to keep a worry journal by your bedside. If you find your mind racing with thoughts or concerns when you wake up early, instead of letting them spiral, jot them down in the journal. Get them out of your head and onto paper. This signals to your brain that these thoughts have been acknowledged and can be dealt with in the morning. Freeing your mind to relax. This is particularly helpful for those to-do lists that pop up at 3 a.m. Write them down and let them go. Reframe your thoughts about waking up early. Instead of viewing it as a problem or a failure, recognize it as an opportunity to practice relaxation, breathing, or gentle mindfulness. If you do wake up and can't get back to sleep after 20-30 minutes, don't just lie there getting frustrated. Get out of bed. Go to another room. Keep the lights dim. And do something quietly relaxing. Read a boring book. Listen to a calming podcast. Or do some gentle stretching until you feel sleepy again. Then, return to bed. This prevents your bed from becoming associated with wakefulness and frustration. John, a retired teacher, used to dread his 4 a.m. awakenings because he immediately started reliving his day's worries. He began practicing 10 minutes of guided meditation before bed. And if he woke early, he'd listen to a gentle rain sound app on low volume while focusing on his breath. Over time, the intensity of his early morning anxiety lessened, and often he would drift back to sleep. Cultivating a calm mind isn't just about sleep, it's about improving your overall well-being. And it's a powerful tool to ensure that your nights are truly restorative. We've covered quite a bit today, from the simple yet profound power of aligning with natural light, both in the morning and evening, to the critical role of a thoughtful evening routine that prepares your mind and body for rest. We've explored how what you eat and drink can either support or sabotage your sleep, and how strategic movement throughout your day is key to earning that deep, restorative slumber. And finally, we talked about the transformative impact of cultivating a calm mind, managing those racing thoughts that often hijack our early morning hours. Remember, none of these are drastic overhauls. They are gentle shifts, small adjustments that accumulate into monumental changes for your sleep and overall well-being. It's about listening to your body, understanding its signals, and nurturing it with consistent, loving care. You deserve to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to embrace each day, not feeling robbed of precious sleep. Your body isn't breaking down, it's communicating with you. And by understanding these signals, you gain the power to respond effectively. Those early morning awakenings aren't necessarily a sign of inevitable decline in your sleep. Often, they are a strong indicator that your body is craving more alignment with its natural rhythms, or that just 1 or 2 seemingly minor sleep disruptors are having an outsized effect. It's a call to refine your habits, not a sign that you're destined for sleepless nights. In fact, for some, if you wake up before 4 a.m. and feel completely refreshed and ready to go, it might even mean your body simply needs slightly less sleep than it used to, or that its primary sleep cycle has shifted. The true measure is how you feel when you wake. If you feel tired, groggy, or frustrated, then these habits are even more crucial for you. It's an opportunity to optimize your health, to become more attuned to your body's unique needs as you age. This isn't about perfection, but about progress, one gentle step at a time. I truly hope this conversation has given you some clarity and, more importantly, some actionable steps to try in your own life. I'd love to hear from you. Have you experienced these early morning awakenings? What have you found helps you the most in getting a more restful night's sleep? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights and shared wisdom could help so many others in our wonderful community who might be struggling with similar issues. If you found this video helpful and informative, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us reach more people who might be struggling with their sleep and looking for practical, gentle advice. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss our future videos designed to help you live your best life at every age. We're here to support you on this journey. Remember, aging is not about decline. It's about wisdom, growth, and optimizing how we live each and every day. You have the power to influence your sleep, your energy, and your overall health. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep taking those gentle steps forward. Live your best life at every age.